It's all right. So that Gavin and Jonathan can see a little bit and hear a little bit of what happens in class.
Hey, Gavin.
One thing just to note about every Monday night, hopefully by Monday night, if not then by Tuesday morning, if I haven't received homework from you today, the homework that was due today, I'm going to email your mom, okay? You guys are 9th graders. By the time you're upperclassmen, totally, it's going to be on, whoa! It's going to be, here, it's going to be completely, how about?
You can't see half the writing now.
Should I email?
What about that?
I can't see because of coffee.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so listen, but you're freshmen, right? And so getting into that routine of making sure you get things turned in, you don't want to lose points just because you just didn't get it done on time. So I'm going to start emailing your moms. I think your moms want to know at this point so that they can follow up in a timely manner with you. Okay?
So do you want me to turn my final essay like on Wednesday so you can see my mom's grading, or do you want me to just email it to you?
You can email it to me. I don't need to see her notes. I just needed her to sign your rubric to say that she did proof it for you.
Oh, okay.
That's what I needed to see. Okay? Not her notes. Just your final and the fact that she signed and said she did help. Okay, so we're jumping into characterization. You guys read.
This is what we read about, right?
This is what you read about, exactly. And we're jumping into discussing that today, and then you're going to do a characterization activity this week. And the instructions really would be for you to write an essay also, but I'm not going to have you write an essay. I'm going to have you brainstorm for an essay, compose a thesis that you would use in your essay, and you're going to find quotes from the story that support your point of view, the stance that you take for an essay, but you're not going to have to end up writing it.
So essentially we're doing all the back work for an essay, but then we're just not writing it.
Exactly, which will save you quite a bit of time
So
because
we
this
learn
is
all
kind
the
of
stuff. We just don't have to.
you learn all of it, but
Right.
you're not putting it together in writing. Yeah, because I want to jump into Jane Eyre next week, and I looked back at it and I thought, no, this is just going to be too much for this week.
So this is an
We are.
informational.
I thought it was this
book
week.
is
Mm-mm.
so
Okay.
big.
You
It
have
is. It is. We're gonna have 4 weeks to read
I brought
it.
it as
But
well.
guys, let's not get sidetracked too much on that. Listen, bring it next Monday. We'll jump in and you'll start reading next week. Okay? We're not talking about that quite yet. Okay, so I want you guys to tell me a couple movies that you watched. Did anybody watch any movies over break?
Someone saw
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Star
Greatest
Wars.
Showman, Star Wars. Hey. I can't hear it. I heard Greatest Showman. I heard Star Wars. What else?
Oh, the star. I saw
The
the
new
star.
Jumanji
Oh,
movie.
yeah, I saw it.
Jumanji.
My
Okay,
dad wanted to
so listen, we need to discuss a couple that a lot of people have seen. Who's seen Star
I think
Wars?
everybody's seen Last Shadow.
I haven't seen Star
Okay,
Wars.
who saw The Greatest Showman?
Can we do it about Elf?
Oh.
I've seen it. It was really
Yeah,
good.
I don't
My
think
mom
Elf
saw
is
it.
gonna. I don't
I
think
wanna
Elf is
see it
going
now. I don't wanna
to.
see it.
Is
I
it
don't
wrong?
think Elf is gonna
Wonder.
lend
I saw
itself.
Wonder.
I saw Wonder
That was
too. Have you guys seen Wonder or
No.
read Wonder?
No.
What's
I don't like the
Never heard of
movie.
it.
Oh, I saw Wonder. Okay, yeah.
I like the movie.
Has
Never
everybody
watched
seen
her movies.
Jumanji?
I've never.
No.
No.
I've seen
Okay.
the original.
All right.
I
All right.
don't like movies.
That's all right. That's all right. We won't be
Can we do
discussing
about Elf?
all this. No, I don't think Elf is going to work really well. We're going to be talking about great characterization. I'm not entirely sure that Elf
It's cute.
will work that way.
Percy Jackson.
Okay, it's all right. It's all right. We'll just bring up examples and we'll explain why. Hey, listen. Shh. So, we're talking about who knows protagonist. Someone
Good
give me a
guy.
definition.
Cool.
It's
What?
not
No,
necessarily
not
a good
that-
guy. It
that's
could
not
be a
that-
bad guy. It's just the person that you're
Someone-
following the story of that has obstacles.
Yeah, someone
There
that
you
is trying to reach the goal.
Exactly. The person,
Yeah.
the person,
That's
the
actually
main,
not the
the person that has that main
Exactly.
conflict, right? The person that's facing the main conflict. They don't have to be a hero. They don't have to be a perfect good guy person, but it's kind of the main character, the one who's facing the conflict of the story. Yes,
Can I do
Bryce.
the next one?
Yes,
The
antagonist.
person that tries
person
to
that
get in the
tries-
way of
The person that creates obstacles.
Okay, the person that
The
creates.
person that has conflict
Are-
with the
are you
protagonist. That's the real
interrupting?
definition.
Okay.
Because you're trying to
Okay, so
follow.
somebody think of a movie. Stop for a second, think of a movie. Raise your hand because we don't want everyone to talk at once. Raise your hand and tell me, think about a movie that you've seen or a book that you've read, and tell me the protagonist and the antagonist.
Jumanji.
Yes.
So, in the Dark Knight,
Hey, Michael.
in the
They're not
Dark-
gonna be able to. Hey, guys.
in the Dark Knight, protagonist is Batman. And
Batman.
Antagonist is Joker.
Is the Joker.
In the Dark Knight, right?
Yes. Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. So Batman and the Joker. Okay.
In Elf, the
In
protagonist
Elf.
is
No.
Buddy.
Who was the antagonist?
Buddy is the protagonist.
The antagonist.
The narwhal.
Hey guys, let Emily talk.
The antagonist is like New York.
Or
like,
Buddy.
New York's just like getting in the way.
The
No,
No
it's
Christmas
a person.
No.
Or
It's
what?
It
a
doesn't
person, not
have
the
to be a
obstacle.
person.
No, actually, it doesn't have to be a person. The antagonist does not have to be a
But New
person. It
York-
could be the culture. It
Yeah.
could be himself.
Mhm.
It's probably
Right?
him.
Listen, if your conflict
Buddy.
is man versus self, then self is getting in the way. Self is creating some conflict. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Do you guys see what I'm saying?
Buddy and
So,
Buddy.
what do you guys? Who's seen Elf? I have not, so
You
I can't
haven't
really.
seen
You haven't
Elf?
seen Elf?
No, I have a daughter who hates
I've
the
seen
movie,
that
and she's
so many
talked about how
times.
horrible
Which
it is.
one?
So it
I need
just
to talk
How is
to
this
them.
hilarious?
yeah, I'm not going to expose
Was it
that.
Caitlin?
It's
Not going to
Caitlin.
expose
It's
that.
Caitlin. It's
It's
Okay.
Caitlin. It's
So
Caitlin.
I have to watch Elf, but Buddy is the protagonist. So who?
Elf is
What do you guys
hilarious.
think? Think it
Buddy.
through.
Buddy.
Who's the antagonist?
No, that's like his culture.
No,
like I
it's
feel like
his
it's
dad.
the culture.
Yeah, it could be.
I feel
his
no.
dad.
I feel like it's the culture of New York because like he's coming out of this elf culture and he's going into the New York culture, and like he doesn't get any of the New
It's his
Yorker
dad.
culture.
It's his
Okay.
dad.
It's his dad.
But his dad is
Okay.
the one like
No,
inflicting the
no.
culture of
Hey,
him.
So listen.
Exactly. So his
Could
dad
it be?
is
Listen, could it be that there's more than one conflict?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Not really.
Really? The
Really?
movie is not deep
Emily,
enough. It
remember
can't
the
handle two
conversation we
conflicts.
had? How all
It's
the
Wilfred.
good
No, they just
ideas
can't let
you
Emily
had,
be right about it.
Oh,
Emily
I
good
see.
ideas.
Emily can't be right.
And they
Yeah.
can never be right.
Yeah.
All right. So it's possible that there's more than one
Yeah, it could be
conflict.
like man versus society, man versus man, man versus.
Yeah, there's obviously more than one conflict in many stories, right?
Yeah.
So it could be that the antagonist in the one conflict is the culture or the society of New York City, right? And the antagonist in the other conflict is his father. Okay?
Yeah.
So I obviously need to go see Elf. All right. Okay. Foil. Who can tell me what a foil is?
I forgot this
well,
one.
I know
I
this
don't
one.
remember anything else.
This
Wait,
is in the
no,
book, right?
that's not what it is.
Wait, I know this.
It is in the book.
generalization.
A stock is a generalization. Stock is
Stereotype.
a stereotypical person. Listen, the author doesn't take a lot of time to develop
A stock.
Oh,
the character of a stock
They just
character.
have you assume what they're
You
like.
do. You assume a lot about who that person is. It's the
Oh, here we
housekeeper, right? It's the. You don't need to read it. We're getting there. We're getting there, Bryce.
A foil. Oh, okay.
We're getting there. Okay, so we've changed gears and we were talking about stock. Stock is just a general character you expect. So in Star Wars, we're like the
That's like a
stormtrooper.
stereotypical-
Stormtrooper. We know what a
Obi-Wan
stormtrooper.
Kenobi.
Wasn't this the one that like
That'd
followed
be Anakin.
stereotypes?
Yes, follows
Like
stereotype.
an old woman with like a cane.
Exactly.
Like, crouching over.
The author doesn't have to do very much to develop a stock character. They don't take a lot of time to develop the stock characters.
Because
Okay.
Aren't they like?
So, like,
Don't they like knock
Batman
them in the
and
story a
Robin
lot
and
though?
what?
They don't. They're there
They're
to.
not like the
They're,
protagonist or antagonist.
They're
just kind
not.
of in the side.
They're-
Batman
they're
and
like,
hey
Robin.
guys. Hey guys, listen. You guys really need to stop talking while somebody's
Yeah,
talking.
Bryce.
It has to be about the content, and one person really should be talking. You need to be listening to Emily answer the question. A little bit is one thing, but this is too much going on. Okay? So, yes, stock characters are there. They need to be there, right? We have to interact with the world. There are more people going on in the story, but there's somebody that you can make generalizations about. Okay? They're not heavily developed. Okay, what about a foil? Who remembers what a foil is? Michael.
You don't remember. You just read it. Anyways.
Okay, Michael.
It's like a person that is very developed and you know like a lot about, like you know more about them than they know about themselves. Pretty sure that's what it said.
Oh.
That is not what makes a foil though.
Yeah, it's just
There's
like,
something specific.
it's
There's
just
something
like-
specific about a foil.
Yeah.
They
something about
they
detail.
can be well developed, but
What do you do?
it's different than that. Okay, so Bryce read in his book, but we'll let you answer. Go for it.
Who was usually paired with the protagonist.
That's what
Paired with the protagonist
Oh.
for
so
what?
like-
Hold on. For what purpose,
That's why I
Ethan?
said
You want to
that.
tell me
To
for
show
what?
contrast.
To
and
show
stuff.
contrast.
Like,
Okay. Okay, give me an
in the book that
example.
we read,
Okay.
Kidnapped.
Hey guys, shh, in Kidnapped. Okay.
Him and Alan,
Gotcha.
they were kind of different.
Absolutely, I love that. So David and Alan in Kidnapped.
Good job,
Talk
Ethan.
to me about why Alan would be a foil to David.
They-
Yes.
He was from another part of the Scotland.
Right? He
and
was
they
from
like
the
believe
Highlands.
different stuff.
They believe different things. Did they have similarities?
Yes. Yes.
They were both in common conflict with the men on
Yeah,
the boat, right?
Weren't they both kidnapped?
He was kind of kidnapped, wasn't he? He was saved. He was kind of saved from his shipwrecking, but then he was kind of kidnapped, and he was going to be killed, and his stuff was going to be taken. So they had things in common, right, along the way, and yet he was there. He showed contrast to David, our main character. Somebody else think of another story, movie that you can tell me who the protagonist is and who their foil is. Yes, Bryce.
Ransford and Whitney.
Was that what you were going to say?
No.
Ransford and Whitney.
No.
Okay, so what about them? How do you think Whitney creates a foil for Ransford?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't, like,
I
they
said
don't have to
he.
be in, no, but I'm saying they don't have to be in the entire story.
They don't have to be an entire story. How do you see contrast? How does it develop who Ransford is by the
Because-
author giving this foil?
Well, for me, because at the
Whitney.
beginning of the story, when they were talking on the boat
Mm-hmm.
about how when Ransford said, like, she was, like, trying to figure out, like, what the Jaguar...
Did you say
He, my
she?
bad.
It's okay, it's okay.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. We're back to the whole
He-
Whitney as a girl
My
thing.
bad, my
Yes,
bad.
that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay,
When
so-
they're on the boat at the
yeah.
beginning of the story.
And Whitney said that he cared about how the Jaguar felt or something like that.
Okay,
And Ransford said, "You're a big game hunter, not a philosopher," or something like that.
gotcha. So Whitney kind of introduces that contrast of idea that, hey, we care about how the animals feel. The animals must feel fear, right? And then Ransford, it helps, it develops, it shows the protagonist and the character of the protagonist and the who cares about what the animal feels.
So it's kind of showing
Right?
the contrast in the beginning of like, who cares? And then he's like, I care now.
Exactly. The author used that interaction between Whitney and Ransford to show more of Ransford's character that needed to be built before we went into his interactions with Seraph.
But isn't
Right?
that more
It's a
like
huge
foreshadowing?
part of this that he has no compassion for the animals he hunts. Right? Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
That was a
I agree.
huge element going into being hunted. Right? Okay, so I agree with you. It was minor. It was the beginning of the story, but the author used that other character to develop the character of the protagonist. Yes, another example.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I have seen
No,
Ant-Man.
I can't think of his name.
The Mexican guy?
Yeah, the Mexican guy.
Okay, so tell me what they have in common, and then tell me the contrast that the author is
They
using.
both steal stuff.
They both
Word.
steal things.
They
Very word thieves.
This is Ant-Man
They
and
both
the
steal.
Mexican guy.
They both steal.
Hold on, guys. I need you to hear.
I'll
Hey,
look up his
listen.
name.
I need to capture this for the recording. So you're talking about Ant-Man and a Mexican guy,
Yes.
and they're both. Okay, hold on.
He's in
They're both thieves. You said.
Yes.
Okay, so show me the contrast.
So like.
Because I'm not remembering the movie.
Oh, I need to know his name. I can't keep
Yeah,
on
it's
saying the
fine.
Mexican guy.
Well, call him Carlos.
Yeah, was that his
Why?
name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Carlos, anyways.
Okay.
Like he basically like provides like shelter for what's his name again? Ant-Man.
Okay. He
I
provides
think
shelter
it's
for
Ant-Man.
him.
When
Okay.
he gets out of jail, and like they're really good friends, but it shows like
Michael Pena.
His name is Michael.
in the movie.
And the movie Lewis.
Lewis. Okay.
Lewis. And,
Lewis.
So Lewis, like he basically is
Yeah,
actually
it is.
what?
Let Michael finish. Hey guys, really, Elmo,
Anyways,
let's go.
Lewis is like he's always helping him and always like seeing that Ant-Man has like a different personality, has a better personality
Okay.
because he has a daughter.
Okay.
So like he had like at one point like Luis shows him like one side of his life and the other is
Okay.
like
What?
Okay.
he shows him he has a daughter, so like Luis also like it's hard to explain.
Okay. So they're both criminals. You said they both
Yeah,
they
they
got
both
out
are
of jail.
criminals.
So they both are criminals. They both are thieves. But you compare Lewis and Ant-Man, and the Ant-Man has
A daughter.
a
so
daughter, and
yeah.
therefore has some
he's
extra
stealing for
integrity.
his daughter.
He has more integrity than Lewis has
Yes.
because of this person in his life. So that does show a contrast. Do you guys see? He could be a criminal and a thief like Lewis is. But because of his daughter potentially, right? He actually is trying to take a different path. Is that
Yeah,
Is
at
that
like
true?
At one point,
Okay.
he said he should do like he got a really good job for his like daughter because he has to have, like raise enough money for his daughter.
okay?
And-
Robbins.
What? Basketball. That guy was creepy though.
Okay. So I agree that that would be a foil. I agree. Does anybody else have any other examples? Yes.